Will Campbell's never played guard before, but everybody's just convinced that this guy's going to be great at left guard. How do we know? He's never played before. It's a
Now,
completely different position.
I think he's going to be. Look, he's got some short arms, but with the Titans, they draft Skronsky, and he had short arms. But his mitts are powerful. He's smart, and he's cocky, and he's physical. I think maybe a right tackle, left tackle, depends on the system you're running. I think that Pats are going to either take Membo or him. I think that left tackle spot after they sign Diggs, I think that they're going to go left tackle. I think it's going to be Membo or Anderson, and then I don't know. Chicago maybe gets that left tackle spot. I thought they would go Gianti, but I don't think he's going to fall that far. But I could see how left guard might work out. But when I watched him play, yeah, there was some problems. He had his short arms. Sometimes guys would spin off him. But I just loved when you watched him, he was super confident, smart. And those hands, and he's got that, like, when you get those big guys that get the oversized head and stuff, the big bone structure and the big mitts. I think I got some concerns. And Chris Kaufman he gave me some good takes on why he thought he might not make it.
I think I'll give you a guy that could just pop in out of nowhere, and they're kind of putting his name out there to try to, and he's represented by Drew Rosenhaus, so they're doing the rounds right now to make sure everybody knows that this guy is a first round prospect. I think this is a guy that could be taken a little early, and he could be a surprise, and that's Josh Simmons of Ohio State.
Oh no, yeah, I heard that him saying going to us.
Yeah, but I don't see that's happening. Okay,
you don't think so?
No, I don't think they'll take an offensive tackle at 13.
I think it'd be crazy. I heard some people saying that like they're going to move off Paul. That'd be insane.
Yeah, they haven't been on Paul yet. So
yeah.
So what are you moving off of? Oh, besides that, he's in the building working on his off-season program, and they're setting him up for the season. So it's obvious they're not moving off of Paul.
No. They could. I thought they could have moved off Jackson, but they locked in money till next year, and Jackson can't play the interior.
Yeah, no, he's not going to play a guard, and neither can Paul. Both of them are tacklers.
Yeah. So I don't see us going. I don't. Membu or Anderson or Campbell, they could maybe move, but I don't know. I think we're definitely not going offensive line till third, fourth round. I'm hoping third, but
I like Kelvin Banks a lot, and he's a guy that I think can play guard. But we're back to doing that thing again. You're going to draft a tackle to have him play guard at 13. That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
I don't like him. I don't like when I watched him play. I don't like him inside as much for us because Daniel struggles a little bit with power. Brewer struggles a little bit with power, and he's unbelievable mover. But I was a little concerned with him getting inside. We need a mover next to Paul to lock down that side, not Eichenberg. So I mean I like him for other teams, but not so much for us. So if we go Malachi, let's say we go Malachi Emanwari. I can't believe I just got his name down. I listened to you say it twice, and somehow it's stuck. At 13, then I bet we go corner in second round. And then
I would say that defensive tackle is staring them right in the face. You're going to get the spillage from the first round, so you're going to get a really, really good player at 48.
You think they can find a corner in the third? They have no luck with that.
It's a really deep draft. Like you're going to be able to find a player.
Oh yeah, whether we can or not. I mean, the Bills found what's his face Benford in the 6th round, but it just gets really hard. I mean, we need a boundary corner unless they're somehow out of their mind and they're going to bank on Smith and Artie Burns, and if you go safety. They might be like, I can find a D lineman in the 3rd round, but it's really hard finding corners. You can.
Yeah. One way that you can move off of both and just, because remember, there's safeties out there that can fill a role, like a Justin Reed. There's good players that can fill a role that are just slightly right outside of the top 100 that you could take in, early day 3, and they could fill a role on the team. They could help. There's a surefire way to actually get a guy that could do a lot of different things. And that's, take somebody like Jahdae Barron. And Jahdae Barron can actually play several positions for you. And he could start games on the perimeter, and he could reduce inside. I'm sorry. If you got Barron, Kohu, and Ramsey, that should be
Oh
enough.
yeah, yeah.
And if you don't think that's enough, then I don't know what you need.
I'm like again, I'm no guru, but I think Barron's going to be the first one to go before Johnson. I think Johnson's the guy that might fall to us. I think there's an
Yeah.
opportunity
I
for
think
that.
that's my suspicion. My suspicion also, because I think teams are just going to look at it and say, man, this guy does everything. And
Yeah.
we want that on our team,
Well, that's this whole new defensive idea is you have the flexibility and you're moving because the more guys that you have flexibility, once they move to different positions, it changes the equation, and then the OC's got more to plan for, more to consider. But when you got one guy, he's got a single skill set, even though it's great, then you know what he's doing, you know where he's going to be, and it's like, okay, I know he's going to be. Let me focus where all these other guys could be. And that morphing, the nickels, you want guys that can play the run and the pass, because then you could bring out your nickels and not get run on, because some of these nickels now, they're getting run on because they got not enough junk in the trunk. And so I think Barron, I now that you told me he's 202 pounds, is bigger than what I thought. I think he's going to go. I think he's going to go before, and I think Johnson and Malachi and Mwari going to be the guys that we're probably. Because I think we definitely got to go DB first. I think.
Yeah, and I'll say this about Anthony Weaver's system. A lot of people are going to be nervous about, man, what are you going to have on the perimeter? Remember some of their play calls and some of the coverages that they play. When they play cover 3 or they play quarters, some of their half field coverages, they really don't stress your perimeter corners all that much. So if what you are going to need, you're going to need a guy with speed. Like that's like cornerbacks in this system are speed dependent. Like
have to be,
that's
especially with
like,
the man.
yeah. So that's going to be important. So maybe you could find a rangy guy with some speed that you can, you could kind of get away with playing several guys opposite of Ramsey. If you get somebody like Barron and you solidify yourself up the middle, which is what they want to do on this defense, especially
Yeah,
when they
we
play a
want to
lot
watch a
of
lot of
great.
tape on Barron next, man. So if
He's
you
noticeable, man. He's noticeable. You're gonna have a great time watching him play football.
so if you had to lay out odds, what do you position you think we're going to go at 13?
Defensive back.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that because I feel put it this way, I feel great about getting a useful contributor as a defensive tackle at 48, right? I don't feel all that great getting myself a useful contributor at 48 in the defense
Yeah,
for the defensive backfield, unless maybe I get lucky,
yeah. We
you know.
so that's the problem. It's like as soon as you get past that first round, the odds start going down. Your acumen has to be extremely high, and you know, to me, I still think we need a real talented offensive lineman. We need a talented defensive lineman. We need a talented cornerback. I don't think we can get it all this year. If we did, it would be unbelievable. And I think that with Eichenberg being pulled back, Jackson being pulled back, I think they're kind of feeling comfortable with this offensive line. I think maybe Tehran comes back, maybe in a backup role, and they'll find that guy in the third or fourth. I'm thinking fourth. I think they're going D in the first 3 rounds. I think that would be my guess, because you need probably 2 D linemen. You need a D end, a real solid D end, if you don't find somebody, because we have Sela, yeah, but you got to watch out. He's getting older, and you need guys to be in that pit. So I think it's either safety, corner, and DI, or corner and then DI and then maybe safety later or something. But I don't know. I think it's definitely DB. They need.
There's another scenario that I can foresee that could really help them, and that's like, let's say Shedeur Sanders drops to 13. First of all, if he drops to 13, then
Trade back.
although I don't think that's going to happen, by the way.
You don't
But
think
let's
that's
say
happening?
it did happen. Let's say it did happen. First of all, you have a decision to make. Do you just take him and stash him for 2 years for him to take over for Tua? Is that a consideration?
Oh, that would be. Can you imagine the explosion? It'd be like,
Yeah.
so hard cover the
Or
team after that.
or you could sell him for a
A
lot of
ton.
picks.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
could sell that pick for a lot of picks. The other guy I'm looking at is, man, that this wide receiver class is really good. Matthew Golden drops to 13. I'm thinking there's going to be a team that's going to say, we need this guy. We can't pass him up, and we'll give you a second round pick to go with our first
Oh, that'd
for
be
your
sweet.
pick and for Matthew Golden.
That's perfect. I think that's the perfect scenario for us to trade back.
And
We
it's
need that.
happened before. It happens all the time, actually. Remember what Atlanta traded to get Julio Jones? Worked out, okay?
Yeah.
They traded a first, a second, and like a fourth.
Yeah, but they moved up pretty far though, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Well, but it's conceivable that somebody, in the high 20s is going to be like, you know what, Matthew Golden's just too good, or maybe Kyle Williams is that guy in that spot, and they're like, we need this guy. Like this guy is going to be a game changer for us.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
You could always get lucky on draft day. It's just you're just going to need that dance partner, man. You're going to need somebody that's going to actually need one of these guys.
That would be the best, because if you could trade back into like the late teens, early 20s, there's some great stuff there, and you get an extra pick in like the second round or something. Oh,
the only thing that they've kind of taken off the table is they haven't really taken a lot off the table, but they've taken wide receiver off the table.
Yeah.
Okay, that's obvious, because once you have Waddle, Tyreek, and it looks like Tyreek, they're running it back for this last year.
Yeah.
And then they'll just cut him at the end of the season. And your third guy is Westbrook-Ikhine, and you still have Malik Washington, and you have Taj Washington coming back.
Yeah, he's coming back. He was missed all last year with the injury or whatever.
Okay, so that's 5 guys already that you're counting on. So how much deeper are you going to go with this? Tight end is kind of off the table because you got yourself all your specialists, and you got Jonnu.
Warren. They're not going Warren.
Although I like Warren a lot, but it's kind of off the table. And I think linebacker's off the table, so that means that John Campbell's not going to be in there either, right?
Yeah.
Because you've built this group of guys, specialists that do certain things and guys that play on certain downs. So that's kind of off the table. What's still on the table is what we're talking about, defensive back, defensive tackle, and offensive line, and mostly in the interior of the offensive line.
Yeah.
So that's all still on the table, and running back is still there. You know what I mean? But I would expect. Look, man, you could use a day 3 pick, man. You could get yourself a really nice player.
That's what I think you need to do. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think day 3 is fine.
Like you have the Michigan State kid, man. I keep forgetting his name, but if there's ever been a Raheem Mostert clone, man, it's this kid.
I like that. I love Raheem.
And the Dolphins had a scout out to see him. What's his name? I got his name.
We were talking about it a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember his name though.
Yeah. I got so many names dancing around my head that I forget all these guys.
I'm bad with names. I don't remember my own kids' names. I'm like, hey, you. They say you can only hold 1,500 names in your head at a time.
Yeah, right now somebody's watching this and screaming the name right at the screen.
Oh, of course. I
don't know why I have Carter in my head, but
I don't know.
Is it Carter? What do I have? Yeah, Nate Carter. How did I? Nate Carter. I knew it was Carter. I had Carter in my head. Watch that guy play. If that guy doesn't remind you of Raheem Mostert, I don't know. And he kind of has the same build, and he runs in the 4.3s. So
that'd be nice. And late, definitely late. I can see it. I'm not too high on Alexander Madison. I think he's okay. But yeah, I think. Clearly, in the first and the 2 fourths, it's got to be offensive line, defensive back, safety, corners. That's 4 picks right there. And then maybe another tight end with the other 4th pick, or maybe just double up on the DI or whatever. I think I would draft more offensive linemen. I'd probably draft it earlier, but that's not how they're going to go. So definitely.
Chris Coffin reminded me of something right now. Marvin Allen was director of college scouting in 2017 when his board had Patrick Mahomes as their top target for a quarterback. He had him as QB1. The following year, when he went to Buffalo, he built the board for the Buffalo Bills because he was their national scout, and he had Josh Allen as QB1. So Marvin Allen could. Yeah, I kind of want Marvin Allen to pick the next quarterback if he's going to pick one.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of that, is this Greer's last year? I kind of am thinking maybe he's got 2 years. What do you think that this is a must win for him? What happens if we do
I don't.
awesome? Is he back? And if we don't do
I
it, is he?
think. I think that the Dolphins went out and won the Super Bowl. I think Chris Greer would probably move on anyway. Okay.
Wow.
I think that this is his last season as general manager.
Oh, I like that talk. I like.
And regardless of what happens, okay, I'm talking about they win the Super Bowl, they go undefeated. I think he rides off into the sunset and says, "Look, I did this," and I think he'll get that soft promotion upstairs. Who knows? He might end up in NFL in the in NFL front office very soon
Oh,
because
I
he's kind
like
of
that
tenured.
talk. I would feel
I
like a
think that the
thousand pound weight off my back.
I think bringing in Champ Kelly is kind of tells you everything you need to know. This is a guy that's going to be on a lot of radars this coming off season as far as general manager interviews. You still have Marvin Allen.
Talk that
I
sexy talk, Alf. Talk that
I
sexy
think
talk.
I think that they're and all you got to do is just look into Champ Kelly's background. He
I'm going to
broke into
now.
the league under Mike Shanahan. Who else broke into the league under Mike Shanahan? Mike McDaniel. So I think that they've kind of made the decision. If you're following all the moves that have happened this offseason, Mike McDaniel is kind of getting his way a lot. So I think that the decision has already been made. And, not that I have any hard info on this, but,
No, I don't
you
care.
know,
I just like
it
to talk.
it kind of makes a lot of sense when you start putting all the pieces together that, yeah, they're going to reorganize the front office under Mike McDaniel this coming season, and that Mike McDaniel probably has favored nation status around here right
Ding
now.
dong, the witch is dead. The witch is dead. The witch is dead. I can just see that. I can see that. A Wizard of Oz, the whole dance session. Oh man, that is worth it, man. I think we could sail up into the horizon on that one. I don't know if it's true or not. I hope you are right, but that is some feel good stuff, brother. Really feel good stuff. I just even whatever. We just need a breath of fresh air. I need it.
What they need is new eyes, man. They need new eyes on this team.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. 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 So, on that note, Alf, I thank you for stopping by. It's always a great time. This might have been my favorite time with you because you've given me hope. I've kind of been, I don't know, I would say dour, lost in my closet someplace, trying to get through this thing for a couple of years. But that offers me a lot of hope. I am so grateful for you coming on, especially giving me that bit and all that information. Wrote it down. I'm going to be checking it up. So, Alf, give us the whole deal. You guys over there, they do a great job. Give us the whole thing, how we can get in touch with you, how we can get connect with you, and how we can get on your OnlyFins and chat boards and stuff of that nature.
yeah. If you wanna listen to our podcast, it's the number 3 yards per carry. Anywhere you get your podcasts, you can listen to us. We're gonna have our whole draft series that kicks off in April. It'll be 2 shows a week when we're gonna
Awesome.
go through every single possession unit, leading you right up until draft week where we do a mock draft and we take you right up to pick 13 and we make the pick at pick 13.
Sweet.
We've actually hit that pick several times this in the past. Last year, Chris Kaufman actually picked Chop Robinson when we did our mock draft.
Good job,
So,
man. He aced
you
it.
know, so he had the right guy. Uh Very famously, one time all 3 of us, we had a consensus that Minka Fitzpatrick would be the pick at 11. All right. So we're going to see if we could do that this year again at 13. If you want more of us, you want to reach out to us, you want to interact with us directly, you got to go to Discord and you get on our Discord. You go to discord.gg/onlyfins and become a member there. If you just want to do the read only, that's $2.99 a month. But if you want all access, it's $4.99 a month. That's discord.gg/onlyfins.
Good stuff. Cheap price, man. $4.99 is nothing, man. It's like $1.25 a week. Cheap stuff. Cheap stuff. So, Alf, you're the best. Thank you very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed. We'll try to get Alf back soon, post draft, to see what he's talking about. But there's a lot of good stuff to chew on. Alf, again, thank you. Curtis and Alf saying, go Fins, and goodbye. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with acepread.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.